new age is upon us, the rise of AI, technology, and robots. While the rest of the world shudders in terror because of it, China seems to love it. But why?
The Tesla chief Elon Musk has met government officials in Beijing. Chinese state media is reporting that the tech entrepreneur is there by invitation for the promotion of international trade.
China VP said on social media that the two discussed AI as well as autonomous driving as key to the future for EVs.
Huawei, China's top chip maker, have built an advanced processor to power its latest smartphone. It's a sign that Beijing is making early progress in a nationwide push to overcome US sanctions.
Now, China's BYD has overtaken Tesla as the world's largest seller of electric vehicles.
So, if you've been paying attention to the news lately, some of the top questions on your mind are probably, so why are China embracing technology and robots this much? What's really their ultimate end goal? And why aren't their citizens freaking out about the robots taking all their job like the rest of the Western world? Those are all fantastic questions any sane human would be asking after seeing how China have been diving headfirst into robotics and technology, and to fully understand why. First, you really need to know how this really goes. So picture this. China's not just dipping its toes into the world of industrial robots. It's going all in with everything it's got. Back in 2016, they snagged the crown for the world's largest user of industrial robots. How big of a deal is that? Well, get this. They gobbled up a whopping 87,000 units in a single year. To put that into perspective, let's compare it to Europe and the Americas combined, where they clocked in at 97,300 units. That's right, guys. China's giving the rest of the world a run for its money. Between 2005 and 2016, the number of industrial robots buzzing around China soared at a mind-blowing average rate of 38% per year. That's like watching a rocket blast off into space, leaving everyone else in the dust. So, what's the deal? Why isn't China quaking in its boots at the thought of robots taking over? Well, grab a seat, because we're about to unravel the mystery behind China's fearless embrace of technology. Let's peel back the curtain and dig deeper into what's fueling the robot revolution in China. Get ready to uncover some eye-opening insights that shed light on the rise of technology in the Middle Kingdom. We've got our hands on some groundbreaking data from the China Employer-Employee Survey, or CES for short. It's like having a backstage pass to the world of robots, giving us a sneak peek into what's driving their surge in China. First things first, let's talk numbers. Picture the top 5 robot-loving countries on the planet: China, Japan, the United States, South Korea, and Germany. These powerhouses hold the keys to a whopping 72% of all the operational robot units in the world. And guess who's leading the pack? You got it, China.
还有我们比较灵巧的这个手指，那我们呢也做了相同的6个自由度的，每只手有6个自由度的这么灵巧的手。
In just a decade, China's gone from zero to hero, boasting a jaw-dropping 339,970 operational robot units by 2016. That's a whopping 19% of the global robot stock. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty and unravel the complex dance between market forces and government policies that's shaping the robot landscape in China. So, here's the scoop. When it comes to adopting robots, China's taking a page out of the playbook of other major robot-loving countries like Japan, the United States, South Korea, and Germany.
The Chinese government is calling on its manufacturing and industrial sectors to dramatically increase robotics technologies for mass production by 2025, that's next year, and to establish a new industry of humanoid robots by 2027.
It's all about following the money, guys. surprise. The automotive and electronics industries are leading the charge, gobbling up a whopping 69.2% of all the robot action. And when you look at China's track record, it's no surprise. They've been pumping out cars like there's no tomorrow, snagging the title of the world's largest producer since 2008. And let's not forget about electronics. Over 70% of the world's computers and gadgets are proudly stamped "Made in China." With these industries showing no signs of slowing down, it's safe to say that China's robot army is only going to keep growing. But wait, there's more. Let's take a closer look at what's driving this robot frenzy from the demand side. First up, we've got the classic tale of a shrinking workforce and rising wages. It's a story that's playing out in economies around the globe, and China's no exception. But here's where things get really interesting. China's government isn't just sitting on the sidelines and hoping for the best. They're diving headfirst into the fray. With their sights set on leading the charge in the new wave of the Industrial Revolution, they're rolling out industrial policies left, right, and center. It's like watching a master conductor leading an orchestra, guiding China into a bold new era of technological innovation.
Given U.S. sanctions and pressures and threats to decouple science and technology, China is laser-focused on self-reliance and indigenous innovation.
Let's start with the numbers game, shall we? Back in 2003, China was riding high on a wave of working-age population growth, clocking in at a staggering 17.7 million annual increase. But fast forward to 2015, and things took a sharp turn. That once robust growth turned negative, leaving China facing a shrinking workforce. And let's not forget about those rising wages. From 2005 to 2016, urban workers saw their paychecks balloon at an average annual rate of 10%, while the manufacturing sector wasn't far behind at 9.7%. It's like deja vu all over again, hearkening back to the days of the Industrial Revolution in places like Britain and the United States. But here's where things get really interesting. China's government isn't content to sit on the sidelines and watch the show. Oh no, they're rolling up their sleeves and getting their hands dirty. In 2013, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology laid down the law with its guidance on the promotion and development of the robot industry. And if that wasn't enough, they kicked things up a notch in 2015 with the launch of the Made in China 2025 program. Talk about ambitious goals. They're aiming to produce a whopping 100,000 industrial robots per year and triple the robot density in the manufacturing sector by 2020. But they didn't stop there. In 2016, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology teamed up with the National Development and Reform Commission, NDRC, and the Minister of Finance to unleash the Robotics Industry Development Plan 2016 to 2020. Their mission? To spread the robot revolution far and wide, from factories to the service sector and beyond.
Highest priority goes to artificial intelligence, AI, as the core engine driving what China calls its new development stage.
Now, let's talk shop. Our research data paints a vivid picture of how different factors come into play when it comes to firms deciding to jump on the robot bandwagon. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion to reveal the juicy secrets hidden beneath. First up, let's talk size. It turns out that bigger is better when it comes to robot adoption. Larger firms with their hefty capital-labor ratios and fat wage bills are leading the charge. It's like watching the big fish gobble up the little ones, leaving no stone unturned in their quest for technological dominance. But that's not all. When we dive into the nitty-gritty, we uncover some surprising correlations. Take labor turnover, for example. It turns out that firms with higher rates of voluntary turnover are more likely to embrace robots with open arms. It's a classic case of cause and effect, guys. Turnover isn't just a consequence of robot adoption, it's a driving force behind it. And here's where things get really interesting. It turns out that government subsidies are playing a key role in the robot revolution. A whopping 15% of robot-using firms have cashed in on subsidies specifically earmarked for robot adoption. And if that wasn't enough, firms with a Communist Party member at the helm are also more likely to jump on the robot bandwagon. It's like having a VIP pass to the front of the line. So, what's the bottom line? When it comes to robot adoption in China, it's a complex interplay of market forces and government policies, with firms of all shapes and sizes vying for a piece of the pie. Now, let's take a step back and ponder the current state of techno-optimism in China. Despite the disruptive potential of robotic technology, both the government and the people seem surprisingly unfazed. But why is that? Well, buckle up, because we're about to explore a few possible explanations. First up, let's talk government. From where they're sitting, robots aren't just a game changer, they're a golden opportunity. With labor costs on the rise and a shortage of skilled workers looming on the horizon, robots are seen as the answer to China's prayers.
It signifies then that China is moving faster than the rest of the world had anticipated.
And let's not forget about that burning desire to lead the charge in the next industrial revolution. For the Chinese government, robots aren't just tools. They're a symbol of China's rise as a global powerhouse. It's like watching a phoenix rise from the ashes, fueled by the flames of science and technology. For employers, the decision to embrace robots isn't just about cutting costs, it's about survival. With labor shortages and high turnover rates, robots offer a lifeline in an increasingly competitive market. And for employees, well, let's just say they're not losing any sleep over the rise of the machines. With voluntary turnover rates on the rise and unions lacking the muscle to put up a fight, many workers are simply rolling with the punches. But here's where things get really interesting. While the short-term consequences of robot adoption may seem rosy, the long-term picture remains shrouded in uncertainty. Will robots pave the way to a brighter future for China, or will they spell doom for millions of workers? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. We'll be keeping a close eye on China's manufacturing firms as they navigate the brave new world of technology and innovation. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and to watch the latest geopolitical news. Watch this video here.